All right, let's get going with our news for the week. I'm trying to make this larger. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. All right, we have learned about this woman in the news. We heard it on our Kid News podcast several weeks ago. And we kind of joked about her name because we could never really remember it because we heard it so many times, but we never really saw her name. So, Greta Thunberg and Earth. Many people want to protect Earth. Many people celebrate protecting Earth on Earth Day. Earth Day is April 22nd. One person who wants to protect Earth is Greta Thunberg. I think we usually said that her name was Greta Thunberg or something when we were trying to remember it. Greta was born in Sweden. Greta is 17 years old. Greta has Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is a kind of autism. People with autism may think differently. So you guys might have seen this ribbon before. It has lots of different colors and puzzle pieces on it. This is the ribbon for autism awareness. So you may have seen that around. Greta gives speeches about climate change. She learned about climate change at age 8 years old. Climate is the usual weather in a place. Many people think the climate is changing. They think climate change could be dangerous for Earth. So the climate is the weather. So if the climate is feeling warmer, then it's going to feel hot outside, colder, things like that. So you may have heard of global warming. That's kind of been in the news a lot, talking about different changes and chemicals that we're using in our everyday lives that some scientists think are changing the weather patterns, and they are making the climate change in unusual ways. So climate change may bring floods, storms, wildfires, and more. Greta wants to help stop climate change. Greta wants government leaders to help too. She started protests in front of government buildings. Students around the world heard about Greta. They wanted to help stop climate change. Those students started to do protests too. Greta started to meet with leaders. Now she meets with leaders around the world. So, she had something that was bothering her that she wanted to learn more about. And once she learned some more about it, she started telling other people about it, which was really neat. And then other students and other people could learn about it too. And they could kind of share the news and spread the word about it so that other people are conscious about the choices that they're making and how that can possibly affect the climate. Greta talks to leaders about climate change. She talks about how leaders can protect Earth. Greta asks leaders to write laws. She wants the laws to protect Earth. Greta asks other people to protect Earth too. So you may have heard of laws like, you need to be under the speed limit, you need to wear your seatbelt, following the laws so that people aren't arrested or going to jail. So these are different kinds of laws. These are laws that are encouraging people to do things. So you're right, a law is something that you need to abide by, that you need to do. But these are just a little bit different. These are not necessarily things that are being policed all of the time, but things that people want to do to make changes. So she wants these laws to be written so that people are encouraged or forced to follow them in order to help the Earth and help the climate. Greta thinks everyone can help. Greta has ideas to protect Earth. Greta asks people not to fly on planes. Planes can make pollution. Pollution can hurt Earth. You think of some other things that may pollute the Earth? Driving cars, buses, those types of things. Better forms of transportation, walking or riding a bike or a scooter. Those could be things that are not emitting off that pollution and can be helping the Earth instead of hurting it. Protecting Earth is important to Greta Thunberg. Greta is brave. She meets with many adult leaders. She talks about something important to her. Why is protecting Earth important? What do you think? We're protecting the Earth because we live here. right? We want it to be a clean environment. We want it to be healthy for us to be able to be outside. All right, let's learn more about Greta. What you notice up here at the top, it says 2003. This is the year that she was born. And then it doesn't have an end date. Do you remember why? This is because she's still alive, right? A lot of people that we learn about in the news, they have a start date, that's kind of funny. They have a born date, right? So everyone is born, and then they might have an end date. That means that's the year that they died. Since she's still alive because she's only 17, she doesn't have an end date, obviously. She's still alive. Greta Thunberg was born in Stockholm, Sweden. Greta started doing protests in 2018. Time magazine named Greta the 2019 Person of the Year. She is the youngest person to be Person of the Year. Now Greta gives speeches around the world. Sweden. Greta Thunberg was born in Sweden. Sweden is a country in Northern Europe. The capital of Sweden is Stockholm. The Baltic Sea is southeast of Sweden. Sweden is part of the Scandinavian Peninsula. Here's a fun fact. Mr. Bergman, his family is from Sweden, and so his mom and dad and sister actually just went to Sweden last year and met some of their family that are still living there. So it's kind of neat. So that's where Greta is from as well. Here's some, as a recipe for Swedish meatballs. Using beef broth and frozen meatballs, and you use different kinds of noodles, not macaroni noodles, they're called egg noodles, cream and mushroom soup and sour cream, and you put them in this says slow cooker, we call ours at our house, we call it a crock pot, onion soup mix, dried parsley flakes, and a large spoon. Mix them all together, cook them on low, and you made supper for your family. Knock, knock. Place. Place, protect the earth. You'll notice down here it says please. So it says place, protect the earth. They're meaning please protect the earth. It's supposed to be funny. I have a joke. How does the rain tie a shoe? With a rainbow. Oh, that one's clever. All right, so the rain ties a shoe with a rainbow. When you tie your shoes, you tie them in a bow. And after it rains, a lot of times you see a rainbow. All right, choose the pictures about Greta Thunberg and Earth. Tell us about the things that we have noticed were in our news. So I'm going to link this after the video so that you guys can show me what you know. This will be there as well. All of our WH questions. What is the paper about? Who gives speeches about climate change? Where was Greta Thunberg born? What does Greta Thunberg want to protect? What can hurt the earth? And what can leaders write to help protect Earth? Again, we'll skip these two. And then, what is something important to you and why? When have you been brave? And what would you give a speech about and why? I'll link these worksheet pages if you want to do it that way. You can also use your app on your News to You on your iPad and just take a screenshot and send it to me. I think you all have my email address, so you can do that as well. If you just want to do the worksheet pages and that works better for you, then feel free to do that. All right, our important vocabulary words: protect, earth, climate change, and important.